Hey, have you ever heard the story about NASA spending millions to make a pen that writes in space, while the Russians just whipped out a pencil? Sounds like the perfect punchline, right? Rich Americans overcomplicating things, and clever Russians keeping it simple. But here's the thing, this story isn't just overblown, it's completely wrong. Let me break it down for you. So back in the 1960s, NASA really did have a problem. Ink pens just didn't work in zero gravity. The ink wouldn't flow, and regular ballpoint pens were basically useless. Meanwhile, pencils seemed like the obvious solution. You don't need gravity to move graphite, right? Well, both NASA and the Soviets used pencils on early missions. But it turns out that was a terrible idea. First off, imagine you're floating around in a tiny metal tube, hundreds of miles above Earth. Every little thing you bring with you matters. Pencil tips break off. Tiny bits of graphite and wood float around, getting into instruments, switches, or, worst of all, someone's eye. And graphite? It conducts electricity. Just a tiny sliver could short-circuit something crucial. And if that's not enough, graphite is also flammable. Picture a single spark, and you've got a disaster in the making. So here's what really happened. In 1965, an inventor named Paul Fisher developed a pressurized pen, the space pen. It wasn't funded by NASA or by the government, he just made it on his own dime. When Fisher showed it to NASA, they tested it and realized, hey, this thing works. Upside down in zero gravity, even underwater. NASA bought a bunch, and guess what? So did the Soviets, both sides using the same pen in space. The truth is, nobody was being ridiculous. It wasn't about over-engineering or being cheap, it was about survival in one of the harshest places humans have ever been. So next time you hear that joke about the NASA pen versus the Russian pencil, you'll know the real story. Space is no joke, and sometimes the best solution really does take a little invention. Remember, it wasn't just about being clever, it was about survival in the most dangerous place known to man. Outer space. If you like this debunk, hit subscribe for more space myths. Stay curious, and keep asking questions about what you hear online.